All right, welcome. Another edition of It's Still Real to Me. This is a bonus episode again of It's Still Real to Me as we just wrapped up WWE Crown Jewel live from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The show just wrapped up. We appreciate you being on board with us here. We're going to give you a full reaction here on a Saturday afternoon. Obviously, everything Zaslow Show 2.0, including It's Still Real to Me, is brought to us by our title sponsor of everything Zaslow Show 2.0, Anidjar and Levine, accident attorneys, 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733. And of course, if you're looking to place the bets, place the wagers for all the football action that's going on, all the major pro sports leagues are off and running. College basketball is on the way. That's ready to go as well. And Bet Online remains your top spot for all your live betting action and contests. You got the NFL, you got college football, UFC, NHL, all in full swing. Maybe you are wagering on Crown Jewel today. Bet Online is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions. All the hoops betting action along with every other sport available at your fingertips with the desktop and mobile access anytime. Head to the Bet Online today and remember to use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, where the game starts. Joey Levin here with us as well, as always. Joey, how you doing, man? Hello.
I'm doing well. I'm a little worried because Florida State is down 7-0 with 7 minutes left in the second quarter. That's
Peter's already lost earlier today in overtime to Arkansas like 30 minutes ago or something. All right, so we all have a lot on our mind then. All right. Yeah. We got a lot going on here. We're going to give you instant reaction to Crown Jewel. However you're listening to us, all right, if it's or watching us, I should say. If you're only listening, then that's on the podcast, which we'll be uploading after we get done live here. But you're on the YouTube maybe, or you're on Twitter. However it is, make sure you subscribe on the YouTube channel. Make sure your notifications are on. So we're doing more and more of these live streams for It's Still Real to Me broadcast. So make sure that you're all over that. And this way you never miss out on anything. And of course, love taking your comments and that kind of stuff if you want to participate in the show. Joey, we'll start with the main event, I think, right? We got to start with the biggest story. Roman Reigns retains. That was not a surprise to either one of us. I don't think it's a surprise from anyone that was watching. Did you believe, was there any moment in the match that you believed LA Knight was going to be able to pull off the upset?
I mean, just the moment that everyone on the internet is saying that the referee counted 3 and LA Knight.
When was that?
When Jimmy put Roman's leg, the crowd counted 3. The ref's hand was blocked. So a lot of people on the internet are saying the ref count. You know, we always talk about this with AEW, how their refs mess up a lot. Everyone on the internet there's a lot of people complaining that the ref actually counted 3 for LA Knight.
I saw that, and I think that the crowd thought that when he counted that he counted 1 when all he did was slide to get in position, he didn't actually count 1.
I agree.
Of course, then Jimmy put his foot on the rope. Yeah, so I don't think that was any kind of botch. I think that's just the crowd. You didn't notice. Like, he slid into place, and you thought that was him counting 1.
I rewatched it a couple of times. I'm like, I was like, did this happen? No, it was the slide. It was the slide.
No, it was him sliding. For me, there was not a single moment that I thought he was going to win. I did think it was cool. I thought the best part of the match was when he caught the first spear. And, well, actually, there's 2 parts that I thought were great. We caught the first spear. I could have seen him down for the 3 count there. He kicked out. That was cool. I was glad to see that. And then he got out of the guillotine. I'm glad Roman Reigns brought the guillotine back because we talked about this a couple days ago, moves that are inherently heel moves. And Roman Reigns started with the guillotine when he became heel a few years ago. He doesn't do it so often anymore. I don't know why. It's a great heel move, making your opponent just pass out, and then the referee has to stop the fight. And it looked like that was going to be LA Knight's fate, and he still managed to fight out of it. That's where he hit the blunt force trauma. Jimmy got involved. Great spear into the guardrail there, into the timekeeper's area. And then, of course, you knew that was the end once he rolled him back in the ring.
Yeah. I mean, it actually was a pretty quick match. Like
it's like 20 minutes.
Yeah. I thought, I don't know why I thought it was going to be longer. No shock. Obviously that Solo gets involved. Jay gets involved. That was, outside interference was what must have been the theme of the booking for this show because other than the Fatal 5-Way and the Cena match, every match had outside interference of some sort.
Yeah.
But yeah, no surprises. I will say this was the first time I think ever, and I've ups and downs, the length, everything that's going on. I think we both have been supporters of everything that's gone on, the whole Bloodline storyline.
Yeah.
Tonight was the first night where I think it's over, man. I think it's time for Roman. I think he's probably going to lose to Cody. I think everybody wants him to lose to Cody at Mania, and I'm not going to be disappointed. I think it's done, man. I think it's run its course. It's the same thing. It has become pretty much the same thing over and over with Roman. I still want to see Jimmy and Jay. That's going to be awesome. But everything else about the Bloodline is sort of rinse and repeat at this point.
Well, I think you're going to get a break. It seems like he's gone until Royal Rumble. I think
and that's what I mean. And I think that's what I mean. It's like he's done until Rumble, and then he'll do something at Rumble and something at Mania. And then I think this iteration with him as the champ and whatever, this was the first time where I'm like, you know what? This whole interference every match and it's not doing it for me the way it was a few months ago.
Do you like the whole setup in Saudi?
The crowd is too far away. I don't think you hear the crowd reaction enough.
It's I like the look of it as a viewer because it does look special. It looks different. The way they have the lights and everything. So I like that.
Yes.
Yeah, visually I like it there. But the stadium there in Riyadh, it's weird because it's not a big stadium. If you had me guess how many people were there, it's just about 10,000. It's more like an arena. I don't think it's a stadium. I mean, I guess like maybe the top is open, but that's a small little venue. It's not big, Joey.
Yeah. There was something about it. Like it did look cool, but there was something about it. And maybe it was, I think part of it was that I just don't think the Saudi crowd either cares or wants to cheer or whatever. There's something about the women's matches that they are just silent. And
I think they don't feel like they process it. Like like women don't perform in that country.
I know, but so it takes a lot of air out of the whole event because it's 2 full matches where it's like dead silent.
Yeah.
But the show wasn't that. I mean, it was 3.5 hours, 7 matches. That's not that long of a show. To me, it felt long, man. It felt like 5 hours. It felt like a long show.
If you're just tuning in now, live reaction, it's still real to me, WWE Crown Jewel. Make sure if you're watching, wherever you're watching, and if you're subscribed to the YouTube channel for Zaslow Show 2.0, make sure you have the notifications on. So where we're streaming this, we stream it through StreamYard. You're able to get the notifications on Twitter, on YouTube, and on Facebook. So make sure you have all the notifications on there. And love getting reaction, comments from you guys. Anyone wants to send notes in, we could obviously incorporate you guys into the show. And also, one of our great sponsors of It's Still Real to Me, Matthew H. Mashler, Signature Real Estate Finder. If you're looking for your dream home, you go to realestatefinder.com. Over 10 years experience in luxury homes. Matthew H. Mashler is your trusted real estate broker. 561-208-3334, realestatefinder.com. And, of course, BRCW, if you're looking for local indie wrestling tomorrow at the studio at Meisner Park. BRCW, Boca Raton Championship Wrestling birthday bash tomorrow. But again, if you're looking maybe to advance your career or you're looking to sell your property or buy your dream home, Matthew H. Mashler, your trusted real estate broker, realestatefinder.com. So Roman retains. None of us were surprised. Where do we go from here with LA Knight? I mean, is LA Knight a viable candidate to win Royal Rumble in a couple of months from now and maybe get another crack at Roman? Is it definitely Cody's opportunity at Royal Rumble and then WrestleMania? Like, where do we go with LA Knight after losing the biggest match of his career?
Oh, I would guess for the next few months, it's Jimmy, right? He's got to go after Jimmy for costing him at least over maybe the next month.
Yeah.
So between now and Survivor Series, he's got to do something with Jimmy to, I would think, to like avenge the loss. I just don't know. I don't know who else is on SmackDown at the moment that you would put him with for the time being. I think it's a foregone conclusion at this point that it's Cody and Roman at Mania. So with LA Knight, like we talked about on the preview show, it's like, it's got to be something. It's either got to be somebody coming back. That's big. Randy Orton, something like that.
Randy Orton's the rumor at WrestleMania at Survivor Series in a few weeks, right?
Right. Or it's a title and it's one of the Raw titles, right? Or I guess Logan Paul, but didn't he already do Logan Paul?
Yeah, Logan Paul. Well, Logan Paul has fought Roman Reigns. Logan Paul, LA Knight. No, I feel like Logan Paul, LA Knight is a potential WrestleMania match.
Or maybe it was maybe we talked about Logan Paul.
We talked about that. Yeah,
that's why I got confused. So that could be something. I mean, that's a huge Mania match. That's a massive match. The megastar versus the viral mega superstar, whatever they call him.
Yeah.
So that could be something for him. Yeah. I mean, now that we'll talk about Logan's a champ. I mean, he's got to be around more, you would think. So
I guess
not like regularly, but more often. I mean, he'll defend at pay-per-views.
Now we officially got the word, right? Like I saw the promo come up. I was like, wait, is that how they're announcing it? So we're getting War Games in 3 weeks. War Games is back. That was the first time that they mentioned that, right? That was not a thing before. They just threw it up there on the promo, let the games begin. They showed the structure. So we are officially getting War Games for Survivor Series.
Yeah, and that's how it felt after last year, that was going to be a permanent thing going forward. They just hadn't officially called it Survivor Series.
I want William Regal coming out and yelling War Game.
Well, I wouldn't mind Nick Aldis taking over that mantle. I feel like he'd be pretty good at yelling out War Game.
But they just announced it, in this random promo out of nowhere. Yeah. That was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it'll be good. I mean, I hope it's Raw versus SmackDown. That's what it's probably going to be, right?
Well, I mean, it's originally I thought it was going to be you were going to have Judgment Day versus the baby faces on Raw, and you were going to have a separate Adam Pearce, Nick Aldis Survivor Series match. But maybe we're just going to get a Raw versus SmackDown Adam Pearce, Nick Aldis War Games match, not a actual Survivor. That may be the direct, which I'm fine with that. Like that's fun. Right. That's what we end up doing. Yeah, I don't know what else there is to add with Roman Reigns at the end there. I mean, it was pretty ho-hum. We all knew Roman was going to win. It's really just a matter of what they do next with LA Knight. And
it's just the fact that we know he's not going to be maybe he'll be around, but the fact that we know he's not wrestling for the next few months, there's not a lot. What is there to say? I mean, you can't talk about where he's going next because next is basically 3 months from now. So
what did you make of Rollins and McIntyre, the World Championship, opening the show? Because once you sent me the message that that's opening the show, there's no chance. I thought that Damian Priest is going to cash in for the last 2 premium live events. I did not feel that way for this one. You felt that he was going to cash in on this one. But the moment we see that the World Championship, Rollins versus McIntyre, is the first match, we knew he wasn't cashing in. There was no way.
My mind went to a couple places. First, my immediate thing was he's not cashing in. But then my mind went to, well, what if he cashes in and wins and his fight with Cody becomes for the title?
Yeah, that crossed my mind too.
Mm-hmm. That could have been cool. I mean, that would have been a cool moment for it. I'll tell you what ended up happening is what they're setting it up as, I know you hate this, but they're setting up what I've been saying all along. He's going to lose the briefcase.
I finally do believe that now they are setting that up. So Sammy comes in, he takes the briefcase from him after the match ended. He's coming down to fight Seth Rollins, which the only time that happens, come down after the match to do it, is when the guy's like a bloody mess, So I'm not sure what Priest's line of thinking there was.
No, the back injury. It's the back injury.
Oh, but also Priest is so stupid. Like what? You come down with Dom, come down with Finn, beat the shit out of him with steel chairs, and then cash in the briefcase. Say, okay, now we're ready. He's an idiot, this Damian Priest.
But he also has to continue a tradition like no other, which is walking down to the timekeeper's area with the briefcase and saying to the ref, "This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to cash in. I am going to cash in and I am going to take his title from him." And the referee has to say, "Are you sure you want to cash in and take his title?"
You don't want anyone confused with what the purpose of you being out here is. You have to explain it with no uncertain terms. So Sammy comes, he takes the briefcase, and so it does look like we're setting up for a spot. Maybe it's Survivor Series. Yeah. Maybe they put it on a pole. It's a Money in the Bank briefcase on a pole match. All right.
Maybe it's in a bigger briefcase. Money in the Bank briefcase in a briefcase match.
Do you think for Survivor Series, can they put the briefcase back up on a back up there?
And a one-on-one ladder match?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to be Sammy versus Damian Priest.
Yeah. I'm assuming it's heading towards something like, if you want it, beat me for it or something like that. Like some type of gimmick.
Can you imagine? Now, look, this is definitely not the direction they're going in, but can you imagine after all of this that Sammy wins that briefcase from Damian Priest and he cashes it on Roman? That would be fucking batshit.
That would be crazy. If I wasn't 100% convinced that Cody's winning the title, that would be the direction
it would
to
be
go.
Wild if that's what that would be really cool.
Or even if Cody wins and he cashes in on Cody and turns heel, that'd be crazy too.
Sammy winning it and ending the bloodline by cashing in Money in the Bank on him would be so fucking nuts. I'd be so for that.
It actually just leads me to believe that whoever Rollins fights at Mania, he's going to lose, and Sammy's going to cash in on that person.
You think Rollins is going to carry to Mania? I don't know about that.
Who's going to beat him at this point? First of all, who's the other heel on Raw now to fight? Like, who is there?
It's not happening like within the next few weeks, but I think we are eventually headed toward a place where Sami Zayn's going to be heel again.
Well, it felt that way. But now it doesn't.
Not if he's going to win the briefcase.
Not if he's going up against Priest and Judgment Day still.
I thought McIntyre was going to win today. I did. I thought it was a good match. I thought McIntyre was going to win.
I thought they feel slow. I was thinking about it during that first match. It's got to be tough. Like I don't know how long they've been there, but going over there, getting your timing right. I can't even imagine these guys like UFC fighters and boxers who have to go over there and change their whole clock and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But Rollins looks slow. I mean, the match was fine, but he is slow now. Like that's kind of what it is. That's the whole story, right? That he's injured, but he actually genuinely looked a little bit slow. And I felt like, man, he must be actually like real life pretty banged up. Because
I thought McIntyre had him with that first Claymore. I did.
Yeah.
I thought
I never really thought McIntyre was going to win. But it was also just because I thought Priest was cashing in. I was convinced this was the time.
What did you make of Byron Saxton, ring announcer?
Someone tweeted it. I don't know if it was WWE or whoever. It was tweeted before the show, so it didn't catch me off guard.
Oh, I was caught off guard. I saw him in the ring. I'm like, that Byron Saxton? Saxton?
The only thing that got me was that he like changed. He has like a ring announcer voice. Yeah, like he didn't sound like Byron Saxton.
I didn't like him.
It sounded like he was trying a little hard to like be ring announcery, like his voice.
I mean, what was the deal there? Like the normal ring girls, they weren't interested in going to Saudi.
I guess not. I guess they couldn't get him there. I don't know. I don't know.
You know what? I don't know. Is it only me? I expected a little bit more out of the 5-way women's match. It was kind of all right. It was fine.
Again, crowd's dead.
Yeah, maybe that's why.
No crowd. And maybe also, look, I guess there's like some symbolism to Rhea's entrance.
That was cool.
I guess. I don't
know what it was, but like I thought it was cool.
I don't think the crowd liked it. I got to tell you, I think they were booing. It was hard to tell, but I think they were booing that intro.
I'll tell you what, though, when she came out and they used her old intro and then it went into her Judgment Day intro, I'm like, I want her to be champion forever.
It just was
love her.
It was too long. There was too many dudes. Too many dudes.
Yeah, once like 4 of them came out, like, how many are we getting?
Yeah, I was like, now I said it's out in my mind. I was like thinking, it's gone on so long. Now I just want them to go all the way down to the ring.
Yeah, that's like, right.
That would have been funny.
I like the finish
think
though.
The crowd liked it though. I don't think the crowd liked it, and I think it's set up for the crowd to be a little bit all over that match. Like I like 5 women wrestling in Saudi Arabia was probably not really
right. And they're all and they're weird. They're all decked out like head to toe,
right,
covered all over. I thought the finish was really cool. Riptide to Zoe on top of Raquel, who's trying to pin Shayna. That I thought it was a really cool finish. And you know how I feel about Rhea, man. I think she is just such a massive star. So the match was kind of ho-hum to me. Didn't think there was too much. I think you're right, though. I think the crowd not being into it may have taken a little bit away from it. That's probably fair.
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, Rhea, her look was crazy. It was cool. It was really cool. Like
whenever they're over there, she comes out full dominatrix, man. What else is she gonna do?
Well, the hair was different in the face. Yep. The paint was different. The face, the makeup, whatever.
She's man.
Man, I know I bring this up every time she's on a show or she wrestles or does anything. They desperately need to change something up with Raquel. She's terrible. I mean, her gimmick, I mean, it's so bad.
She doesn't have a gimmick. What is her gimmick?
Her back muscles. And when she has to wear full clothing in Saudi Arabia, you can't even see the muscles. So, and she, like this, it's just not good. She's such a good, she could be such a good heel. They got to do something. It's just boring. It's just
she was a very good heel. Very good heel when she was with
Dakota Kai and NXT were
very good. They had that Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash thing going, Diesel thing going.
Everybody called her Sheezel. People were calling her Sheezel.
Yeah.
They got to do something there.
Speaking of which, so let me skip forward a couple here and talk about what I thought was the highlight of the night. All right, or highlight of the afternoon. For me, the highlight of the afternoon. Io Sky defends against Bianca Belair. Bianca obviously looks like she has not missed a step. She has not wrestled a match like that in months. And I thought this was a real star-making match for Io. We know how great she is. And she was amazing in NXT. But she's been with WWE, with the main roster for, has it been 2 years now? Maybe 2 years. It was a
SummerSlam.
Was it last year SummerSlam or
no,
2 years?
SummerSlam. Yeah, it was 2 SummerSlams.
So it's been over 2 years, since she returned. And I think finally they were like, she got a match where, it's got to be one-on-one. So the focus is be on her. I thought she was a massive star. I thought she looked like one of the best wrestlers in the world, which she is. And of course, I loved the finish. Kairi Sane coming out of nowhere, although not really out of nowhere. What are you upset about? You didn't like what they did there?
Why did they do it in Saudi Arabia? The crowd was dead. They don't know who she is. There was it's because the problem is now the people at home who don't know who she is are like, okay, what is this?
You know what? I'll tell you why it was good they did it in Saudi Arabia.
Go ahead.
So Kairi comes out and she's clearly a different character. Like she's stoic.
But he kept on calling her the pirate whatever.
Pirate
Cole
Princess?
kept on calling her the Pirate Princess.
And she did the, what's her move
or
called?
the Pirate of the whatever, the insane elbow.
Right. She's the genius of the sky.
That's Io Sky. That's Io Sky.
She's the Pirate Princess, Kairi Sane.
Cole kept calling
she's got the insane elbow. Yeah, she's clearly not Pirate Princess. I don't know why he was calling her that. She used to come out with, the thing. What's it called? That you steer the boats with?
It's like a
wheel she did not have...
Right. She's definitely
I don't know why
he was calling version of the Pirate Princess, but he kept calling her.
No, she's not
pirate.
Pirate
I don't know if he said princess. He definitely was calling her a pirate.
But she's clearly a different character. She's a more violent, more stoic character. And here's why it's good that you did it in Saudi. You do it here in the States in front of a crowd who knows her and really likes her, and it's a long-awaited return. You're getting a major pop, man. Anyone who comes back after a long time, I don't know that you did in this spot. You come back after a long time, you're an automatic babyface because the crowd cheers for you. Here, no one was cheering for her. And so she looks like a heel.
I know, but when you come back to the States, everyone's, first of all, she came back to help Io.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that she's going to go against Bayley.
Yep.
So she's a face anyways.
No, I didn't see it like that. I think
Bayley's a heel.
Over. I think Damage Control is over. I think it's over.
Right. And everyone loves Io. So Io's going to be the face and Bayley's going to be the heel.
Oh, I don't think so. I think everyone's ready to cheer for Bayley, dude.
I don't know, man. Everyone loves Io.
I think everyone's ready to cheer for Bayley. I think they're ready to cheer for Bayley. And I think Kairi Sane is coming back as like this violent character. They're clearly together. Damage Control is over. Like they'll have that breakup. Look, you can establish Io as a terrible heel on Monday. You get to Raw and have them beat the shit out of Bayley and Damage Control's over. Like they can make her into a massive heel this week.
Cole established this on the show that when the last time we saw Io in WWE, Bayley beat the shit out of her.
Kyrie,
yeah.
I didn't even remember that.
Yeah, I didn't remember it either. But I know she looks like a heel, and she came back and she attacked Bianca. She's not going to be a heel for very long. It's the same. Look, it's something about these Japanese women in WWE. The crowd can't hate them. They don't hate. They tried to turn Asuka heel. The crowd does not hate her.
What if Asuka comes out, thinks that she's friends with them again, and then they beat the shit out of Asuka? Like,
I don't know. I don't know what to think because they didn't get behind this psycho character with Asuka. They've never been behind Io as a heel with Damage Control. They always cheer for her. They might not like Damage Control. They always like Io. They're gonna try to make Kairi a heel. It looks like. I don't think it's gonna work because everyone likes Kairi. She's coming back from being the first ever women's IWGP champion. So like wrestling fans are just excited. Like the hardcore fans, the internet fans, who's not the majority, but they're loud. They're excited to see her too. I mean, I think
if you do it right, you could establish her as a heel, and that's why I think it was okay doing it in Saudi, so you didn't get that reaction from the crowd. You didn't get that
it'll just be interesting to see what her first American crowd.
That's my favorite part of the night, though. I loved it. I loved Kyrie.
I was excited. Look, I was excited for anything in this to be at that point in this show. I was excited for basically anything that was like a little bit of a surprise. The show felt a little bit slow to me.
Yeah,
and it felt like most of the matches were we kind of had determined already who was going to win each match. So it was cool to see that. And we've been talking about her coming back to WWE for a while now. Although I did now here's how you want to make her a real heel. You really want to make her a heel? Turn on Io immediately and go after the title. Yeah, that would make people hate her.
Yeah, I don't think
that would make people hate her. Oh, if you want to see a cool video.
Yeah.
Before Kyrie came to WWE, her and Io obviously they were wrestling in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
The last match, like they were fighting each other, and she did a move off the top rope. I think it was like her elbow, and she was supposed to pin her. And instead of pinning her, she just picks her up off the mat, and they just start hugging each other in the middle of the ring instead of like the match going like an emotional, like the crowd goes crazy because they knew Kyrie was leaving.
I think I saw that.
It's a cool video. I just saw it the other day for the first time, but it was a cool video. It just showed like their backstory goes way back, and with Asuka too.
I like that. That was my favorite part of the match.
But what about Bianca? Like Bianca and Bayley have to feud still, right? Like that's got to be what happens here, right? Or what did he do with Bianca?
Maybe like it doesn't have to be like they could stretch it out a little bit with Bayley, where they're kind of like, hey, we're doing our thing here, and then it gets to a place where they actually just have to beat the shit out of Bayley. Like we're not with you anymore. Leave us the fuck alone. Like that could be a few weeks away.
And then what about Dakota Kai? Where does she fit in?
Well, she can't wrestle. I don't know what her deal is.
I feel like she's got to be close. I don't know, but she's all I think she's.
I love her too, man. Yeah, I love her too. But clearly, she's not close to wrestling. I mean, I don't know. I loved the finish. I thought it was great. I'm thrilled that Kairi Sane is back. Did you love Miz TV with Ibrahim Al-Hajjaj?
I can't believe you know his name.
I wrote it down.
Yeah, so but did you look it up?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. I think this was good. Like you said, like we talked about, they're establishing Miz as a good guy, as a face. This was a good way to establish him as.
So Miz definitely wins the 4-way number 1 contender match on Monday night for the IC title.
Oh, is that a thing? I didn't even know
that
was happening.
Miz, Ricochet, Bronson Reed, and and someone else.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. And I don't know if Bet Online has odds on that, but I'd bet it. And it probably wouldn't win much
minus
money.
$1 million.
Yeah.
Cena and Solo. Cena, get a tan, brother. He's just so pale. I finally get it. What Hulk Hogan used to say, man, when he talked to, I can't take him seriously when you're pale like that, unless it's your thing and you're Sheamus, but get a tan, brother. Cena, so pale. And I thought Cena was going to win. I think I convinced you that Cena was going to win. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure the match was ever really in doubt. Solo he dominated him. And I'm glad it worked out like that. Like I thought Cena was going to win. If I had my choice, I think it's better if Solo wins. I just didn't think that was going to happen. I'm glad that they went with Solo. And he beat the shit out of Cena, man. Yeah. And it felt like Cena, is Cena retiring?
Didn't feel like he was retiring.
It did, right? A little bit.
It felt like the end of something. I don't think it's
something.
I don't think it's his retirement. I don't think he would do it.
You can't retire in front of Saudi. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't do that. Can't do
that. At even though Crown Jewel is a regular show now, I don't think he would do it there.
You can't be all about, salute.
I think it's more just like that's the end of this run. He's going to go back to acting.
Okay.
So it's got to be it. He's an actor. Mm-hmm. So he did a great job of trying to convince us of whatever he was trying to convince us of, because it felt like the end.
I thought he was going to win. I did.
But even like the way he got they cheered for him afterwards and all that stuff, like it, and the way he waved to the crowd, and it felt like the end of something, but it can't be the end. I will point out, I don't know if it was the camera's fault or if it was Cena's fault, but they really blew it after the first thumb, whatever.
Oh, they caught Cena talking so
They
loud.
caught Cena calling out like the next move.
I mean, that's always been a thing for him, but he's been especially sloppy this last run. I feel.
Yeah, it was bad, man. He's just supposed to be out cold, and he's just talking like without covering his mouth or anything. It was.
I mean, he was shouting out sentences.
Yeah, no, he was just like fully talking.
Yeah, he was having
like luckily, like Cole even tried to cover it at one point. Cole was like, "John, I don't even think he knows where he is anymore."
He's belligerent.
Like, yeah, it was just like, man, he should have said something like, "It looks like he's talking to himself." Like
he's been especially sloppy this recent run with calling spots.
It was rough.
Yeah,
and there was actually there was that, and there was another moment in the show that I caught that I was like, man, this is just sloppy stuff. But again, maybe it's the travel, not Cena, but there was other stuff. Maybe it's the travel, the time, whatever. But there was some sloppiness overall. But yeah, Solo should get the win, I guess. I don't know.
Lastly, though, Logan Paul is United States champion. I felt very strongly about it that he was going to win. I think it's a great thing. I think it gives that belt a little bit of prestige because he's going to take it places. There's no reason for Rey Mysterio to be the champion. It was a great match. And I mean, Logan Paul is so amazing. And you know how amazing he is? The fact that during the match, like when Bad Bunny's fighting or even Pat McAfee, I'm always thinking throughout the match, all right, don't fuck up. Don't fuck up. You know, I want you to do well, and I don't want you to get hurt. Don't fuck up, you know? I don't think that way at all when Logan Paul's in there. It's just like, this is going to be an awesome match. I know it's going to be an awesome match.
He is an incredible athlete for whatever anybody thinks about the guy. And there's a lot of things that you could probably point to. He's just an awesome athlete. And I don't know if you noticed it in the match or if you've seen like the clips afterwards, but that moonsault thing that Rey tried to do off the rope and off the second rope onto Logan, like if Logan didn't like catch Rey perfectly, Rey's landing on his head. Wow. Like there was a moment there that Rey looked like he could have gotten like really hurt if Logan didn't catch him. Now, Logan 220 something, Rey's probably 170. Logan's huge, Rey's little, so he should catch him, but still, Logan's really impressive. It's good.
Yep.
It's good business. Having him with the title is good business. But again, random interference. I guess I feel like with WWE, their cards tend to have more, like not so much. There's a little more continuity, I guess is the word, or like the booking of the matches are not stepping on each other as much. Like every match tonight had interference. Every match. Well, so technically the first match didn't, but there was the cash in, and then Sami Zayn shows up.
Yeah,
right?
that's not interference. It was after.
I know, but there's other people involved. Then there's the Fatal 5-Way, whatever. The Cena match doesn't have interference, but the Cody match had interference. Logan's match had interference. Roman's match had interference. The women's title match had interference. Io and Bianca had interference. It's like, I mean, I get it. Like one or two matches, okay, but every match has to have interference. We can't just have a good match here. Like,
why do you think they did that?
I don't know. Well, part of it is that first of all, every storyline is involving. Well, I guess part of it is that every storyline is involving a group, right? So you have Damage Control, you got Judgment Day, you got Bloodline, and they're all their gimmicks is that they interfere for each other.
Yeah.
So if you have them all in the same card, there's going to be a bunch of interference, but it just felt like a lot of interference. It felt like a lot of interference. Yeah. Every match is like, oh, somebody's here now. It's like, oof, man.
Yeah.
We didn't. What about Cody and Priest?
Well, but let's talk about the finish of Logan Paul and Mysterio.
Oh, yeah.
So Santos comes out. I guess Homeboy was one of like the YouTube guys that Logan.
I don't know who that guy was because I've seen. Maybe he's a new part of their show or one of his buddies, but I've never seen that guy unless I.
So Santos comes out and he picks up the brass knucks, and then when he chases the guy out, he lays him on the mat. I mean, we're going to learn he did that on purpose.
Sure, probably.
Right. I mean, because it feels like I thought in that moment we were getting the official backstabbing of Rey. I think we're going to find out that was the backstabbing of Rey, that he left them there on purpose. Yeah,
that makes sense. I mean, it's been coming for a while now, it feels like.
Yep.
So I like that. I will say I like that even though Logan is a great seemingly a great wrestler, they keep having him win by cheating. Because he's so good that if you don't have him keep cheating, like people are just gonna like him.
Yeah,
like you need to have him be dirty and beat Rey Mysterio with brass knuckles, or else people are just gonna be like, "Oh my god, this guy's actually just kind of awesome."
Right.
You know?
So one more match, Cody and Damian Priest. It never felt to me like Priest was going to win. Neither of us felt that Priest was going to win going into it. He's sans briefcase now. And yeah, like we're in a place where Cody has to build that momentum, eventually going into Royal Rumble and, potentially winning the Royal Rumble, I guess, again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But Priest is now clearly in a battle to win his briefcase back.
Yeah. And also this tonight felt like, you've been saying for a long time that Priest is going to be the one who leaves Judgment Day, right?
Yeah. Well, I felt that they're going to kick him out. Yeah.
Well, this tonight seemed like the start of that.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. He loses the briefcase. He loses to Cody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't cash in properly, and you lost the briefcase.
Yeah. And then Rhea
Is there a chance? Is there a chance? Because Drew McIntyre now, you got to figure we're going to get Scott a psychopath back. He's going to freak out. He can't win the title back. Everything's going wrong for him. Is he going to be the new guy in Judgment Day? And they kick Priest out.
I don't think so.
Rhea caught him backstage, kind of gave him a shoulder shrug. Hey, you don't want to be with us? This is what happens.
I mean, you could, but that's just too many. It's too many top guys in one group. Like Drew's a top guy, Finn's a top guy, and you're already saying that Rhea is the leader.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. It would be weird to me to have Rhea, who is great, leading Finn Balor and Drew McIntyre.
But this is going to continue with Scott a psychopath, right? Like he's going down that path.
Yes, this has got to be. Yeah, it's got to go. It's got to go that way, and I don't think it's. I mean, it would be strange to me that they would put him in the Judgment Day, like that he would choose to be led by Rhea Ripley. Right. But I guess anything's possible. But then, I mean, I guess, but then would what's his name still just be chasing and trying to prove himself? JD McDonough.
Yeah, he's like their bitch.
Did you see the pre-show?
No.
Oh my god!
I mean, I assume Sammy won, right?
He did, but something happened during the match. His whole side of his body was completely red and bloody. But it was the bottom part of his stomach. It was.
Right, hang with him.
It was weird. It was weird.
Hang with him. Overall, what grade do you give the show?
C. I mean, I was not.
I mean, I enjoyed myself. I can't give it below a B- if I enjoyed myself. So I go B-.
I don't know if I enjoyed it. That's the weird thing.
What else were you going to do this afternoon? It's a Saturday afternoon. What else are you doing?
I was watching college football. But no, look, it was fine. Kyrie. All right, you know what?
That was my favorite
I'll give it. I'll go with you. You know what? I'll bump it up to a B- because of Kyrie. If Kyrie doesn't show up, this is a slow stinker. I think
that was my favorite part.
There was not a ton going on with it, and actually. Sammy, I think it's interesting that Sammy got the briefcase. I'll be interested to see where that goes. Oh, I didn't. The other thing that I noticed during the Cody Priest match, Dom comes out with the chair. Did you notice that Dom blatantly gave away that somebody was going to attack him? So when he was coming out with the chair, his eyes went like this. His eyes kept going like this, like he was waiting because he knew. Obviously, he knows the spot that's coming. But he was blatantly giving away that he was looking for somebody to come right before Jay showed up and super kicked him.
I mean,
I was what's he looking
dumb.
at? Oh,
he's dumb.
But so the other thing with the interference on these matches was if they were all there, if they were already there, then why did none of them accompany any of their people to the ring?
Yeah, I don't know.
Dom was. I was thinking about that during the Fatal 5-Way. Where was Dom? Dom didn't. If Dom was there,
I mean, I told you my big problem is why don't they come down with Priest when he's going to cash in?
That too.
That's right. My big problem. I don't.
But I'm saying Dom wasn't with Rhea, and then Priest comes out, and then they have to come out and interfere instead of just being there. It was all that maybe is why I was leaning towards C. The interference thing was just so weird to me. There was so much interference in every match.
All right, so you're going C.
I'll go C plus. I'll go
right,
C plus. You go B minus. We average out the show's a B.
All right.
Isn't that how that works? Isn't that
so.
how grades work?
I think so. Good job. I enjoyed doing that. See, I like the afternoon show. It's easy for us to do instant reaction. It's very easy. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. Again, make sure you have your notifications on wherever, if you're subscribed to me on the YouTube, please do if you are not, and appreciate, you guys stopping by and hanging out with us for a little bit. Of course, if you're listening now after the fact via podcast, that's awesome as well. Obviously, everything Zaslow Show 2.0 brought to us by Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Today was brought to us in part by Bet Online. And of course, Matthew H. Mashler and Signature Real Estate Finder, your trusted real estate broker, 561-208-3334. Go to realestatefinder.com. And don't forget, Boca Raton Championship Wrestling birthday bash tomorrow at Meisner Park. Joey, why don't you tell all your fans you'll talk to them next week and to enjoy another week full of pro wrestling. Go ahead.
Enjoy the Fatal 4-Way on Monday for the number one contender of IC, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
All right, guys. We love pro wrestling. We'll talk to you next week on another edition of It's Still Real to Me. See ya.